Welcome everyone to today's video. We're going to be going over the 3 key principles of diet, and I'll jump straight into this. This video isn't for anyone very particularly advanced. This is more of just people that are getting into the very basics of nutrition. So this is kind of like 6th grader level information, I'd say. But like, we've never been taught this in school, so here is your free education for all of this. So why would you listen to me? I have been weightlifting for like half a decade now. As you can see on screen, these are more or less recent pictures within the ballpark of 6 months, except for the top one at the right. That was kind of like quite a while ago, but the rest are basically within the past year. I am a competitive Muay Thai fighter, so there's just like a couple of videos. There's me in blue getting my ass handed to me, but regardless, I still compete. I have been on a major fat loss journey myself. As you can see, I went from somewhat decently looking at around 15, 16 years old, then I got into a slump at 17 years of age, and as you can see, I look quite big. Then I kind of put on muscle, and then at the very far right, this is like where I'm at around now. And I run my own business, which is a YouTube channel, and I have optimized my diet for brain function several times. And as you can see here, I've gone from 100 to 1,000 to 10K to 50K and upwards of 100K, and we're at like 200,000 subscribers now. So I have played around with nutrition quite a lot, and we do have a shared interest, you and I, where I provide you free information. And if you like the results, you might want some more extra personal help, which would lead you to use our software. And you know, if you use our software, you get better results, we make money, and then we just invest everything back into the community so I can make this a full-time job and give free information for more and more people. But anyways, there are 3 key principles in diet, which is calories, nutrition, and psychology. So let's get into the first one, which is calories. Basically, what are calories, right? In like a very nerd term, it is the amount of heat energy needed to raise 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. And in more simple terms, it's just like the energy that the food provides to our bodies, and we need a certain amount of calories or else we starve to death. So essentially, calories are basically energy for our body. Let's get into some terminology. So calories in versus calories out, you'll hear this all over the internet, will basically determine weight loss. A calorie deficit means your body is burning less calories than you consume, and thus you lose weight, whether that's muscle or fat or a mixture of both, which is more common. A calorie surplus means your body is not burning off all the calories you eat, thus you gain weight in the form of fat, muscle, or both. This is typically, you'll be both. Your basal metabolic rate, which is your BMR, is the basic amount of calories your body burns just to sustain your body day to day. So this is for like breathing, just like basic walking, just your organ function, your brain. And there's a rough online calculator for BMR, which you can just search up online anywhere. There's quite simple ways to figure this out. And then maintenance calories is the amount of calories you need to eat to sustain your lifestyle, which accounts for every single part of exercise and your current BMR. Now let's get to the amount of calories in different macronutrients. So macronutrients are right like proteins, carbs, fats, and each macro has a specific calorie amount per gram, with protein having 4, carbs having 4, and fat having 9. Now a lot of people forget that fiber exists, which is typically more present in vegetables, and it doesn't digest fully, so it has around 2 calories per gram. We just like end up pooping most of it out. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram, and sugar alcohols, which are sweeteners such as erythritol, would have anywhere from 0 to 4 calories per gram. Finishing off the calorie section, there's basically smart and stupid ways to lose and gain weight. The smart way to lose weight would be get your maintenance calories, and then you just take away around 250 to 500 calories until the weight loss reduces, and then repeat. You can remove the weight by cutting food and adding a little bit of exercise. I would recommend a mix of both, as if you cut your food too low, you might just get very uncomfortable and you're gonna have to be starving all the time. And if you find like a perfect balance between doing enough cardio and cutting enough food, you might feel fine and have enough energy to do the cardio, and it'll just be like a overall better mix. Now for smart weight gain, you get your maintenance calories at around 250 to 500 calories until the weight gain reduces, and then you repeat. Once again, you don't really want to go overboard with this, as you're just going to add more fat than you are muscle, which more than likely is your reason for gaining weight. So along with this, eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight and you should be fine. Now let's get on to nutrition. This is quite interesting. Not all calories are the same, so eating less calories will help you lose weight, the whole calories in calories equation. But if you don't eat enough protein, you will lose muscle. So as I said, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And on the right here, I added a little low protein food diet that you can look over. And sure, like if you eat this type of food, if I got 2,000 calories worth of bread, pasta, and like beetroots, I would lose weight, but I would probably lose more weight from muscle than from fat, right? Because my body's getting no protein, and then I can't really, make muscle fibers as well. So there's this whole thing about eating whole foods. Why should we actually even choose whole foods over processed foods, right? So let me give you a very simple explanation. Basically, micronutrients are composed of vitamins and minerals, and typically whole foods are much more micronutrient dense, meaning they have more vitamins and minerals per the same amount of calories within the food, right? Even if the foods have, you know, the same calories, the same protein, the same fats, same everything. So on the right, you can see what 100 calories of apple looks like versus 100 calories of gummy bears. And, you know, at first sight, you might think, whoa, like the apples, you know, it's less healthy. It has more sugar. It has more carbs, right? But then you look at the micronutrient profile and you can see that the apple is actually far more packed full of vitamins and minerals than the gummy bears, which is what makes it more healthy, right? See, the gummy bears are empty calories, what people call nowadays. It just means that it's very lackluster when it comes to micronutrients. And why are micronutrients important, right? So eating clean will mostly benefit you mentally as compared to physically. As you can typically eat dirty, there's these whole ideas of dirty bulking. And like, sure, if you get, you know, 200 grams of protein from eating McDonald's, you will build muscle, you will put on size, but you won't feel as good physically and mentally. Most importantly, mentally. You're probably going to suffer from like decreased motivation, brain fog, depression, anxiety if all of your macronutrients come from heavily processed sources. So just keep that in mind. Typically, eating healthier will just make your life easier, and then you'll just fall into a positive feedback loop where you just want to eat healthier because it feels better, and as you feel better, you want to eat healthier, right? Now, last but not least, this is probably one of the coolest parts and most important parts of the video is the psychology behind dieting, right? So clean eating is 90% a mental battle. There are various things that inhibit eating clean, such as environmental triggers, poor sleep, social cues, friends and family, general habits, and so on. If you want to get into eating clean, you must think about what is stopping you psychologically, especially if you failed to get into eating clean before, as this is the main restriction for almost every single person that wants to eat clean. So there is a couple of disorders that actually impact, you know, having a good diet, such as binge eating and anorexia. And most of these, from what I understand, come from, you know, over dieting or childhood traumas. I'm not an expert on this. I'd say, you know, go talk this out with a therapist or do a lot of like self-actualization, a lot of self-work. Personally, I struggled from binge eating sometime in the past, and honestly, it just took a lot of self-exploration, you know, to figure out why I would gorge myself with food and like in what sense it made me feel better. But yeah, everyone has to go through their own journey, and once you know, get these out of your system psychologically, you can actually start dieting and improving your life. But if you don't have these in check, if you don't have your mental health in check, it's the number one thing that you must fix first before even considering diet. And self-image. The shortcut to a healthy diet is using self-image transformation methods to change your self-image into someone who eats healthy or is an athlete. So I can give you somewhat of a visual explanation. If there is a fat person who believes they are fat and they do not eat clean and they try to go on a diet, they will lose weight up until they rubber band back to the same weight and the same diet. Essentially, what you need to do is you have to move the goalpost forward and envision yourself as being an athlete, and then your body will naturally come to it. There's a lot of videos on this. I recommend you actually watch videos catered to this. They'll explain it much better, because I don't want to go into too much detail with this, as it'll just make everything much more confusing, and this will be a much more advanced video for you guys. But yeah, self-image, highly important. Do some self-image work. Read about it. It genuinely changed my life and the life of many other people. And so what are the takeaways, right? Eat whole foods. Eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight if you want to maintain or grow muscle. Calorie deficit to lose weight, surplus to gain, and maintenance to maintain. Higher protein diets will typically keep you more satiated. Psychology and good mental health are 90% of the battle when it comes to your diet. If you do not have your mental health in check, almost everything that you do diet-wise will revert back to a horrible state because you're just not mentally there. Counting and tracking calories is a fantastic way to keep yourself accountable and increase chances of success towards your goals. Don't believe all this new age propaganda of people saying, oh, counting calories is toxic. Frankly, it made the biggest change in my life, and almost every single hardcore athlete I know tracks their calories. And you don't even have to be a hardcore athlete to do it. So there's many apps out there that you can use. I will, of course, you know, pitch our software, Kitchen Savvy. You know, if you want to track your calories using that, go for it. There's also various different apps that you can search online. You know, if you trust them more, go for them. I'm all for them. I'm all for you getting healthy. You know, if you even want to jot down your calories on like a notebook, that's what I did at first. But yeah, counting and tracking is very, very helpful. At least it was for me. It completely transformed my life. And good sleep and exercise habits makes eating cleaner far easier. If you already exercise and get decent sleep, it's just so much easier to get into the lifestyle of healthy eating because you already see yourself as a semi-healthy person. So adding just like a little bit of cleaner food doesn't really change anything too much, and your self-image is already basically there. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, put down in the comments below if you want to add anything else, or if I made any mistakes that I can correct throughout the video. Subscribe to the channel, you'd greatly help us out, and don't forget to stay savvy with your diet.